trust in, forget that, believe in another life. I can't ignore the place I live in. It feels so wrong. Why can't I win? We must be strong. They try to deceive us. Wake up, all these fantasies. I can't ignore the place I live. It feels so wrong. Why can't I win? We must be strong.
Yo, what is up everyone? Fuzzy Juggernaut here, and today I've got a real special build for you guys. This build's insane. Say goodbye to True Patriot, all the bullshit meta, everything. This thing wrecks people left and right. It's crazy. Literally, face tank True Patriot players with all 2 million armor on them, with Unbreakable or Efficient, with the True Pesto, all that shit. I take their Pestilence damage like nothing. Like, it's crazy. Like, this build is amazing, and literally, it's honestly one of the best builds that I've ever made. I love this build more than anything. I've been using it for a little bit now, not too long, but it's pretty awesome, man, and you guys need to check it out. So let's get into the build. First, we'll go over the specialization. Alright, so we're going to be rocking the Firewall. We're going to be using that for the med kit. You want to stack into your LMG damage in there and into your shotgun damage, and then we're going to be using the actual shield from that with the mods that come with it. Only one of the mods, the 8% health, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So, starting off with our primary weapon, we're going to be rocking the Rock and Roll. This thing's amazing. You get 30 rounds with this. My damage total is about 277, almost 278, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it does enough, trust me. It's really good. The core attributes are going to be 14% shotgun damage, 9% damage to armor, and 10% damage to target out of cover. Thanks to my boy Smoller, who gave me this one because it's better than the other two that I had. So I greatly appreciate that. Now going on to the talent. The talent's going to give us perfectly extra 50% magazine capacity. This is amazing. So instead of 20 rounds, we're going to get 30 rounds, and that really makes a difference when you're battling True Pestilence players and other tanky people that have a mass amount of armor with Regen and Efficient on and all that. This thing hits really hard. Our second weapon's going to be the Pestilence. This is going to be 72, almost 73k. This just puts the debuff on your opponents. This isn't like a major weapon that we're going to be using. This is just pretty much to hit like anywhere from 15 to 25 meters away your opponents, which I'll get into the backpack talent. It will utilize that with this. But this one's not god rolled, but it's pretty decent. It's good. This is going to have 15% LMG damage and 11% damage to target out of cover and 6% damage to armor. This gives us the Plague of the Outcast. Hits apply a debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. The stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. So this is good. So you're going to put your debuffs if you need to. If they're at a distance, you're going to put your debuffs on them. It'll tick their armor down. You'll watch it tick too. It's crazy. And then if they end up dying, which most time they won't if you're fighting True Pestilence and tankier players, it'll go to the next person. But regardless, this is just to tick their armor down, so they're pretty much saying like, what's going on? I'm rocking a broke meta build right now, and I'm going to have to take cover real quick because I'm not going to run and face tank this guy yet. That's when you're going to run up with your shotgun and your shield and pretty much destroy them. But I'll get into that in a minute too. So our first piece that we're rocking is a Gilligard face mask. This one's going to give us 5% total damage. I have a max armor roll on there. Now you don't actually need this Night Watcher mask. I just didn't have one that was close to the rolls as this, as high as rolls that I needed. You can rock any Gila mask as long as it has armor and armor regeneration. That's pretty much what you want to go for on this build, is max armor regeneration besides one piece. This gives us 100% scanner pulse haste, but you don't really need that. Instead, any of those ones you could put either, the main three would be critical hit chance, critical hit damage, or hazard protection. Or you could put skill haste if you really want to do, but the main first three, the hazard or one of the critical hit chances or damages, I would put. Hazard protection would be really good though, but I honestly, I don't even feel I need it in here, so I went with the others. And for our next piece is going to be the Badger Tough chest piece, 0Fs. This we have max weapon damage. This is the only piece that you need to put weapon damage on. You can go for 2 reds on here. I do have 2 different types of this build, but I'm showing you this one right now because it was able to do the damage that I wanted and still with the tankiness. But if you want to go with 2 reds, you can put whatever you want on the build. You can make it your own, use it as a template. There's a whole bunch of things that you could do with this build, but regardless, back to the core attribute, it's max weapon damage, 15% health, and 3,800 armor regen. I'd like to have higher armor regen, but it's still fine because we're sitting at like 41 or 43,000 armor regen, which is just enough. I have a 5.1% critical hit chance mod on here. You can go for critical hit damage, but we're sitting at, I think, like 30% crit with like 40 or 50% critical hit damage, so it's fine enough. You're not really worried about that. You're just stacking your base damage up and your armor regen is what you're trying to go. Alright, and so the talent for this is going to be perfectly unbreakable with the 0Fs. So when your armor is depleted, repair 100% of your armor. Cooldown is 55 seconds, so you'll get 55% of your armor, and then it takes almost a minute to come back. It honestly really helps. You can rock efficient. I think I have, let's see here, another piece in here. I have a few of them in here. Right here, yeah. So this one you can rock efficient like this. This one has more armor regen. I like the unbreakable. I try not to go with the efficient since it sort of broke with the firewall, but you can. It will make you even more tankier, but you also have to position yourself in right positions and know when to back off and put your med kit on. Besides that though, I run unbreakable. You can run efficient or whatever you'd like. Our next piece is going to be the Golem gear. And, oh, you know what? I forgot. Also, Badger Tough gives us the 10% shotgun damage and plus 5% total armor. So we're stacking the 5% total armor on this build from the 3 different sets. So the next piece, yes, is the Golem. And this is going to give us 10% status effect, which really doesn't matter because we're not using anything really status effect. And status effect doesn't count with Pestilence. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. And this is going to give us 1% armor regeneration. Now 1% doesn't look like a lot, but it is. It is amazing. 1% of armor regeneration actually boosts you with your max armor and your armor regenerations on all your gear. It actually boosts it a lot higher, like insanely. It says 1%, but it gives you a lot. And for the 5th piece, it's going to be 5% total armor. Now, I have almost max armor on this. We're at 156,000. Our 2 attributes are 5.6% critical hit chance and max armor regeneration. And like I said, it's important that you put max armor and armor regeneration, at least armor regeneration on everything too. This build's super tanky and can take a lot of damage. Our next piece is going to be the Badger Tough backpack. This one has max armor roll on it. Our attributes are explosion resistance, 5.6, and max armor regeneration. Explosive resistance you don't really need. I mean, it's helpful, but I'd rather have hazard there or critical hit chance or critical hit damage, either one. One of those 3 there, but that works for me right now. It's the one I had. And you don't have to go exactly with all these pieces, but the reason that I went with the Badger Tough backpack and the Badger Tough chest piece is because it gives us a red mod. Now you can switch it around. You could put Gillas there if you want, but you're not going to get the perfect unbreakable, obviously. But you can do that and put blues if you want, or Golem, but Golem will give you yellow mod slots. So it's really unnecessary for the Golems to be on any of those 3 major pieces for the chest, the face, and the backpack, in my opinion. But you can run it how you'd like. And for our mod here is a crit hit chance, 5.3%. Now here's the important part, the talent on this backpack. Versatile. Amplifies total weapon damage for 10 seconds when swapping between your primary and secondary weapons if they are different. 35% to enemies within 15 meters for shotguns and SMGs. 35% weapon damage on your shotgun. it boosts your shotgun insanely high, so we don't have to run more reds. Now you can run, if you run any more reds on the build for weapon damage, I would only do one more, but you can do what you'd like. It's just a template, but this is how I'd run them. And that's how I run my other one and this one. But that 35% weapon damage within 15 meters, you're going to obviously be close up with the shotgun, is really good. And when you switch between both weapons, they're proccing like constantly. There's only like a 5-second cooldown or something like that. I think it is. Yeah, 5 seconds per weapon. And by the time you're done shooting or doing whatever you're doing, you'll be already swapping back and forth, and they just constantly proc with each other as long as you're at the certain distances. The second one's going to be 35% to enemies further than 25 meters for rifles and marksman rifles. And the last one, which is what we'll be using, is a 10% to enemies between 15 to 25 meters for LMGs and assault rifles. The extra 10% helps. In the videos, I actually didn't have anything stacked into LMG on my specialization in the firewall, so imagine it could probably do more. Now, the LMG, like I said, that's for like when you're down long hallways or, you're quite a distance away, but you don't want to be too far away. It's just that perfect mid-range. You want to pull out your pestilence, you can stack some debuffs up on them, keep them back off you, especially when you get a group of 3 guys or 4 guys or 2 guys, whatever. You have all rocking pestilence builds with maxed armor and all that stuff. It helps to keep them at bay a little bit, and then you can run up on one and fluster them real quick with the shotgun and a shield and just start tapping them. They go down. Our next piece is going to be our second piece of Golan, so this is where it's going to give us the 1% armor regeneration, and then we have 132,000 armor. I'd like to have more. I haven't rolled anything on this one yet, actually. I still need to re-roll it. I just haven't decided if I want to put more armor regen or more armor on it, and which I want to take away. But regardless, I think I'm going to probably go with more armor regen. But this is a good piece, and like I said, you can mix match these how you want. I just prefer them in this way because of the mods. So your mod slots, I feel, are sort of important, but you can obviously do it how you want. For this one, our minor attributes are going to be 11.1% critical hit damage and 4.8% critical hit chance. Our next one's going to be the Golan gear. This is our last piece, our third piece. Is the knee pads. This is almost maxed armor. I've rolled max armor regen on it, and we have 12% critical hit damage. Now, I rolled the max armor regen over the crit hit chance because I'd rather have the crit hit damage. I'm at 30%. I was at 40% when I took 2 pieces of crit hit chance off this build. I didn't feel it was necessary, and it was sort of pointless to stack a bunch of crit hit chance if you have no crit hit damage at all. So I'd rather have a little bit of crit hit chance with a little bit more of crit hit damage. Like I said, I'm not going for full crit or critical hit chance or critical hit damage on the build. It's just a little added extra bonus. And for our skills, we're going to be rocking the Crusader Ballistic Shield. This shield's really important also. This Crusader Shield is a must because this stacks damage modifiers for you to give you more weapon damage for every opponent that's in front of you. So you got 2 or 3 guys in front of you shooting at you. They don't have to be shooting at you, but if they're in front of you, you're going to get for each one of those guys, you're going to get a stack bonus that goes towards your weapon damage, and it's going to make you do a larger output. For the health on the shield, it's at 4.1 million, and it's only 20-second cooldown. So it's a nice way to pretty much mitigate damage, and as you can see in the videos, it works pretty well for me. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. I'm just using it because I have 5 blue tiers, and so why not, since it's going to give me that. I felt it performed a lot better than the drone, especially since people have jammers and I run a jammer, so the drone doesn't last as long. It does mitigate a lot of damage, the drones do, but you can run Defender drone if you want. It's up to you. Actually, let me go to our mods real quick. So our mods are 4% shield health, and then since they changed the mods in the game finally, in TU9, they're actually worth it to have now that you get from the specialization. So the Firewall mod that we get this is 8% shield health. That's a must in my opinion on the shield because it's going to boost you way higher in health. And then our 4% damage bonus. This is what I was talking about. This is also going to stack with our damage. So this is giving us our damage bonus per enemy in front of our shield. And this buffs your team too. If your team's behind you and you're taking frontal damage from everyone and there's multiple guys in front of you, it stacks up and it also gives them damage. Our next one's going to be the Jammer Pulse. The Jammer Pulse is its cooldown's 30 seconds because we don't really have anything in like Skill Haste or any of the yellow mods, but or tiers, but that's fine. It's mainly to start out when you're in fights. Everyone's throwing down their stinger hives constantly, and so normally what I'll do is I'll wait till they throw that down, or if there's multiple guys and they throw a bunch out, I'll try to jam them all at once or jam the first one at least. I can take the damage even if it gets off and gets me a little bit. It's not a problem. And even after that, when I get in the fight, it's still not too big of a deal because of the armor we have and the armor regen we have. The effect lasts for 6 seconds and the radius is 22 meters. You want to try to spread that out and make it last as long as it can. And then our charge time is 2 seconds. So this is going to jam all their skills and everything they have, especially the stinger hives. That's mainly what I have it for, is the stinger hives though. For the mod, I'm going to be running 8.6 radius and 9.3 effect duration. Unfortunately, all my jammer mods are actually on my other character. I hadn't pulled them off yet. But like I said, just use what you have. This thing works really good. I prefer it, but you can also use the defender drone or whatever you'd like. Now, let's see. I'm not going to do my watch. It's just everyone, I have it stacked in damage, reload, and armor and hazard, stuff like that. Everyone has theirs different, and you can't really take it out. For a pistol, I rock the M451A, as I say in all my videos. It's just my favorite pistol. You can rock whatever you want in there. It doesn't really matter because we're not getting the passive talents anymore. And for the grenade, I'm rocking the cluster grenade. The cluster grenade is really good grenade. It does good damage, especially if you take down their armor and they're hiding and they're trying to throw a med kit on and they have a fish and all that stuff. If you can chuck a grenade before they get to the spot they're going to, if you can sort of anticipate, it can really mess them up and take them down and stop them from putting their med kit on. Those milliseconds to a second counts, especially when you can run around the car or wherever they're hiding at, and then they're still trying to put the med kit on because it stops them or it kills them either way. But if it stops them, you can still pump some shotgun rounds in them and kill them and finish them off. All right, for our stats, let's go to stat sheet. Yeah, all right, so we're sitting at 277,552 weapon damage, but in PvP it says 97.6. For our critical hit chance, we're at 31%, and our critical hit damage is at 52.1% critical hit damage. So that's pretty decent for having all the armor that we have and the regen and the damage, so that's not bad. And we have 45% headshot damage, but good luck with the rock and roll, especially on console. I'm just going for body shots and trying to land all the shots I can into the body. Alright, we're at 25% all weapon damage bonus and 39% shotgun damage bonus. I think, and I put 15% in light machine gun too, but like I said, I didn't have that on in the video, so. Let's see, perfect unbreakable, nope. Here we go. We're going to go for armor. So our armor is 1.8 million, just over the cap of 1.8. So that's pretty good. It's where I like to be comfortably at, especially going against multiple True Patriot guys with pestilences. But like I said, you can put on another red if you want to go for more damage and you feel like you can tank it, then go for it. We're at 41,651 armor regen. The armor regeneration is like really good in this game, man. This stuff heals you real quick, especially through people's stinger hives when they have no skill tiers. It really will heal you right through that damage. And the pestilence ticks, you can see in the video for itself too. It literally, you can watch the pestilence ticks ticking my armor away and my armor coming right back to at the same time, fighting it at the same speed it's going away. So it's honestly, their pestilence does nothing and their stinger hives really do nothing unless they've got, you got high skill tier guy with a skill build, then yeah, I mean, you're going to take some damage, but that's what you got medkits for and Unbreakable. Our max health is almost 300,000. We're at 294,000. And our health on kill, which doesn't really matter. Health and regeneration, yeah. No, that's really important. We don't have any incoming repairs, but if you do rock 2 Gila on the chest and the backpack, or 2 Gila, 1 Gila on one of those pieces, you can put incoming repairs. That can help. That will help with your Unbreakable, and it will also help with your regeneration and all that for your armor. And then explosive resistance only 5.6, and not much into hazard, only 3.4% into hazard. But like I said, this build takes a lot of damage, and it's really, really good. Like, it's insanely good. I'm telling you, try it. You'll like this build. It literally, you take on any True Pestilence player. It's no joke. I think that's about it for the build, though. I appreciate you guys checking this out. If I missed anything, you can let me know in the comments. Thanks to all my buddies, too, for helping me test some certain stuff out, and Smoller for giving me the shotgun. But if you want to subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Like or dislike it. Either way, thanks for watching.